All righty, we live out there. What's going on, y'all?
What's up, WTF world? Hey, we got a new face on the team, Mr. Deontay Crawford. I had the pleasure of, I don't want to call it an interview because it didn't really feel like an interview. We were just chopping it up, talking, and really just looking to get to know him more as a person, as a potential coach for the academy here. And when I tell y'all this is the most genuine guy, most down to earth fella. His background is very interesting. I'll let him dive into that more once I pass the mic soon. But yeah, get used to seeing Deontay's face more and more on these lives. He has a very interesting perspective, and I'm pretty sure that you all will love his take on things. So, if you don't have anything, I'll go ahead and pass the mic. But if you do, I'm going to go ahead and chime in.
No, I'm definitely gonna chime in. You all go ahead and do your thing. I'm sending this out to a bunch of people.
Okay, cool. All right, yeah. Well, I'm not gonna run my mouth too much. This is the Deontay Crawford show, as far as I'm concerned. So, Deontay, just go ahead and give us a quick spiel, or go as much in depth as you want to, man. You got
I
the
got,
floor.
like he said, my name is. I appreciate that intro. Thank you. My name is Deontay Crawford. I met these great men. Man, that wasn't none but God. A little bit about myself. I guess my story really started when I went off to the Marine Corps 2013, got out 2017, and I'm gonna do the fast version. I went in the trucking business for the last 5 years. Last year, I walked away from everything and had no idea what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted something else. So at that point, I dove into my word and I was really leaning and depending on God. And I told him, I never really went all in on a word. So it was my first time. And man, from then on, I fell into social work. I love it. I ended up moving back here to East St. Louis, where I'm from, because I had moved to North Carolina and start off as a volunteer. Now I'm hired full time for an organization called St. Vincent de Paul, where the main mission is to bring people from homelessness to housing. That's the main mission, but we do a little bit of everything. It's not too much we don't do here. So it goes hand in hand with my purpose. I love taking, I love connecting with the outcasts, the ones that's forgotten, the people that's not socially accepted, and basically, uh, helping them the best way I know how. Taking everything I learned and giving it to them. I met a lot of great people in my life. I'm only 28 years old, but man, God really put me a good circle, around me. And anyway, I've learned a lot, and just even at this stage now, I'm still learning and soaking up, as much as I can. And I love to give everything that I learned, to those who people count out, And since I've been here, and since February, March, I think March, I have seen certain clients that were, forgotten about and cast out. No family, no friends, no this, or the people that been told, you wouldn't be this, you wouldn't be that. I've seen them get housing, get a job, get a car. So, it just goes to show that, with well, as my friend Hugh always say, it's just a lack of knowledge. So just providing, some of the most basic, whether it's goal setting, the most basic just plans for their life, visions, just that goes a long way for a lot of them because they were never taught these things. So I'm excited. I was of course excited to meet Ernest. It was right on time because he provided me the opportunity to be a part of his organization with him and Dimitri, man, because it was right on point with what I wanted to do. And they worked with the 12 and 17 to 12 17 teenagers, and it was like, okay, these are the same, young men and women that, you know, grow up to be these clients that I'm seeing now that's addicted to drugs, prostitution, just alcoholism. It starts when they're young. It starts at those prime ages. When you a teenager, you don't go one way or the other. So, it all connects. And it says, okay, it gave me the opportunity to kind of nip it in the bud before it got to a certain, you know, level. So Man, like I say, I'm just grateful. I'm appreciative. I'm looking forward to working with these men, to working with, millions of students, and yeah, man, I'm grateful. That's the best word I could use to describe the feeling. I'm looking, man, I'm ready, so
It's a
that's
great
all.
word. We need to be more grateful. Everybody listening to this and watching the replay, the key word is being grateful for where you at and what you got, and so much more will be poured into you. But my guy definitely left out a ton of stuff. He does work as, I mean, and the connection that he has. And for people that don't know East St. Louis, you really need to look it up. Like East St. Louis is the underbelly of St. Louis. They treat, I mean, do they have a McDonald's in East? I don't think they got a McDonald's in East St. Louis. Like, I mean, no businesses are there. It's strictly poverty. Like that's, I mean, people have been through St. Louis and seen the North Side and a few of the, not so great areas. Man, look, East St. Louis has been treated bad. And it has a reputation for just nothing good coming out of there, but maybe some wings at a strip club. That's it. That's the only thing you talk about. And so what I love about us coming together is I want East St. Louis to be our Mecca. Like I want the WTF to be stamped all over East St. Louis. We create boarding houses, buildings, different things, create jobs, bring in businesses to East St. Louis to service these young people because man, there's definitely a need there. And we really appreciate St. Vincent de Paul. Shout out to St. Vincent de Paul and Miss Pat for allowing us to come down there last Friday and coming every Friday now going forward and building the programs up because it's such a need down there. And again, for the people that know, like Dimitri had never been to St. Louis, Deontay. So I gave him the hood. I gave him I gave him the hood tour and we barely scraped East St. And he said, man, I ain't never seen nothing like this in my life.
Yeah.
And because I mean, I know Atlanta has their bad spots, but it's different here in the Midwest, man. When I say there's a divide between the haves and the have-nots, it's not a thin line. It's a big gap, big gap. And it breaks my heart to see a 19-year-old, good-looking young man homeless. Like, what? How's that all that life? And he's struggling to get a meal. And so, yeah, I'm excited about the collaboration with St. Vincent de Paul. We're definitely about to change some things. You know, what I love about those that are at the bottom is that they desire the top. It's the people that's mediocre that don't desire nothing. They don't know if they want to do good or bad. When you at the bottom, oh, you look up. Mm-hmm. You desire that help. Some look down and they're ready to die, and we're not talking about them. But those that are looking up, they want different, we're coming to give them different because I remember, as I stated, being that homeless person and living off the dollar menu and deciding whether it's going to be Jack in the Box or McDonald's today for that chicken sandwich that cost 99 cents. Man. That was me living out of my car, going to the plasma centers. I'm donating every week for that $40. Like I did that, man. So that's why my heart just goes out to these people because, you know, they have all type of organizations and groups, and I love it. And they often service this group, that group, this group. But there's a lot of people that are not serviced as they should. And they're not highlighted as much as they should. And that's what we're going to do with the WTF and everything that's going on here in East St. Louis. And we're going to do the same thing in Atlanta because Atlanta got a ghetto too. And they got a juvenile detention center. They got some misfits down there. So we're taking it down there in Atlanta also. So the WTF is definitely broadening out. And we love to have you on the team, bro. Like just your youth and your energy. Now Dimitri won't feel like the youngster on the team anymore. You know, all he had was this old head. Now he's gonna be an old head.
Hey man, I love it. And yeah, just kind of touching on what you were saying, man. There's visiting you in St. Louis let me know that there are definitely levels to this whole life thing, you know, and I always hate to see when people are, you know, struggling and in poverty and things like that. But I mean, unfortunately, what I saw in St. Louis, especially down to like the cemeteries where they were separated, like the graveyards were separated by their religious beliefs. You know, that was, you know, heavy. So that's just tells me that that's a microcosm to what the entire world is. It's always been divided, and there's always been this gap in wealth, and unfortunately, due to monetary policy of the government, you know, the wealth gap is continuing to broaden and continuing to spread. And that basically means most of the wealth is being transferred to a few hands at the top, and the people in the middle and at the bottom are going to continue to struggle and not really have an opportunity to enjoy life to the fullest. So that said, that's why it's more important than ever for us at the WTF Academy to ramp up people like Deontay, people like Kevin, who really have a passion to help people, who really have a heart of God and a heart of gold to really push the agenda forward that is fighting the evil forces that are trying to keep us suppressed. So yeah, not to get too much on a rant, but that definitely did spark something in me when you said the St. Louis poverty thing, and just me seeing it firsthand. It really is levels to this stuff. So glad to have you on, Deontay.
Yeah.
Hey man, once again, thanks you all, and yeah, for sure, you hit it on the head, man. It ain't really much coming out of East Saint. Everyone here, you either if you the only way to make it is through sports. So man, it's always been known for the poverty, drug-stricken area, a lot of alcoholism going around. We grew up, we used to seeing, excuse my language, but I'm gonna keep it real, crackheads walking around, all day, every day. So, like you said, I love when you say you want to make East Saint the Mecca because man, that's never before been seen in my lifetime. So I don't believe in coincidences, and I'm excited to get started to go to work because I see the impact. I know the impact that can be made. I see just the difference I'm making here, and in this from St. Vincent alone. So I can only imagine we get into those detention centers and everywhere else, man. I'm ready, and I me and you all. I got all the faith in the world in this team. With the addition of me and Kevin, I plan to put my all in this. I don't take this lightly. Like I say, I'm always learning. I'm a servant first. I said that, so I'm for the people. When I say that, that's what I mean, and that's where I get that motivation from. I actually love this.
Right.
So, like man, grateful, excited, and ready. So.
Oh man, I'm chopping that. I already know what we're about to do, bro. And you brought this to my attention because my whole program was going to be virtual. I wasn't dealing with St. Louis, and like we're gonna get the virtual folks to do it. And then I said, you know what? Everything is pushing me to do something local. And O'Fallon and East St. Louis is night and day. Like it's not even close. So I thought about it and I'm like, I'm in a military town. There's not really the need for it here. And then East St. Louis popped up. And when I drove through there and I got lost, I was driving through there and I'm looking and I'm thinking, like, man, how is this even possible? And there's a long history of why East St. is the way that it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Missouri, Illinois thing. They don't like each other at all. I mean, at all. And most people work in Illinois. I mean, they work in St. Louis and drive to Illinois to avoid taxes, to avoid a lot of things. So it builds up St. Louis's economy and drives down Illinois's economy because everybody's over there working and they're paying their state taxes because that's where that job is. So it's so systemic what's going on in East St. Louis, and he's right about the athletes. But if you go to their high school, Dimitri, it's like a prison, man. It's guards. Like it's not like school, man. It's an institution. And unless you're an athlete, a lot of them don't care. Or they care less. Let me say that. I'm not going to say they don't care. All of them care about the kids, but they truly care about those children when it comes to sports. And what they're perpetuating is that this is your way out of East St. Nobody else is talking about all the other ways you can get out of this poverty-stricken mindset, because there's millions of ways. We all know that, but they're not being taught that, and they're not being exposed to that, except for people like ourselves, people like Deontay, Kevin, people, the churches in the area, the St. Vincent de Paul. They're trying, but man, it's bigger than this, and it's going to take something major to create a change. And I'm up for the challenge. I want it to be, man, look, come on with it. Like, where Goliath at? Give me Goliath. I'm ready to slay this sucker. You know, and that's how I look at East St., man. And we're going to do it one step at a time. Like this event we have coming up in December, I'm already scouting 2 or 3 people out of St. Vincent de Paul that are going to go on this event and have their minds blown just by the experience. Like when there's an all-you-can-eat buffet on every floor, the days of being hungry, you can't think about that no more. When you have a cabin, you're not thinking about being homeless anymore. When you're around like-minded people that are building you up, everything in your psyche changes you all. And we're doing this every 6 months for these young folks. So I'm excited about what we're bringing to St. Vincent de Paul and to East St. Looking forward to meeting the new mayor and see what he got going on. Hey, man, it's time. Like you said, it's time to, you remember, I always talk about that movie Unleashed with Jet Li. If you all haven't seen him, where he wore the collar with Morgan Freeman in it. And soon, you know what happened when they took that collar off?
Couldn't nothing stop him.
And that's what, hey, I told Dimitri, man, I'm going to take my collar off in East St. Louis, because I'm not afraid to be down there. And like, oh, you know, a lot of people, businesses will not come there out of fear. Like the government is trying to pay them to come to East St., and they won't. They won't come for free. Think about that.
Yeah, man. For real.
Yeah, it's heavy, man. And but this business, WTF, we're definitely coming, and we bringing some people with us. We're making changes on the streets, and this is only going to move up, because for those that don't know, I have another speaking engagement at the end of October, and this is with nothing but entrepreneurs. So I'm going from speaking to the homeless, drug addicts, to speaking to people that are at least 6 figures or better.
Wow.
And guess what the beauty of it all is? It's pretty much the same message. You know, the difference is it's the stats, because there's so many entrepreneurs and there's so many people out here that are focused on so many different things that they're not focusing on this. But this is the true value. This is your superpower. This right here. And I'm not talking about your physical heart, your lung. I'm talking about your being. Your overall being is your superpower and makes you the apex of all supercomputers, of all super creatures. Whatever is on this earth, we are the apex. And we should never be homeless or hungry, man. Ever. Nobody. So that's the mission, and it's only increasing. So we welcome you. We're going to get Kevin out there, you all. And just, I felt so good about last Friday. I want to touch on it again, that, you know, it was a rough crowd. And I'm from the rough crowd. So, but to hear their response, they responded. They really saw. When you ask somebody, would you prefer misery or joy? A bomb will tell you joy. It's a no-brainer. The same way the entrepreneur will say joy, but guess what? Both of them are doing. They're focusing on misery. They're bringing up stuff from the past to make sure they're miserable. I just made a pact with my wife. I said, babe, and me and her haven't been through much of anything but greatness. But I tell her, I said, listen, going forward, I don't ever want to hear about anything in the past. I don't want to hear about when we were teenagers. I don't want to hear, unless it's deliberate, I don't care. Because all we're doing is regurgitating things. Let's talk about the future. Let's talk about the present. Let's talk. I get it. We like to reminisce, and man, you remember back in the day, man. If you keep hearing that from the same people, that's because they have nothing going on right now. They don't have nothing to talk about in the future. So all they can do is go back to feel good. And if that's all you got, then by all means, do what you do. It just does. That's not the conversation I'm gonna have with you, because everything I'm talking about is forward talking. But let me be quiet. I get to run. Dimitri, you supposed to keep me under control.
Brother, can't nobody keep you under control. That I've realized that a long time ago. So listen, all I do is try to help direct the conversation. I just let you run with it, and it's all love, bro. We compliment each other well, and that's why I love doing these lives with you, man. But yeah, yep, absolutely.
Yeah, man. I said starting in the streets too, because our presence alone, is what's gonna change everything. And then the fact that our team is coming from a place, genuine place. It's no long, complicated equation. A lot of these people are just broken when it comes to the young ones committing the crimes, when it comes to the women selling their bodies, when it comes to the ones abusing the drugs and the alcohol. They come from a broken place. All got similar backgrounds when I sit down and talk to them. And you know what I do? Just love them, and they can feel it. Just talk to them, care, give them that time. Sometimes I just listen. They just want somebody to listen. And you get results from that alone. I'm seeing it firsthand. So I'm ready. I'm ready to show them that it's a team of us that's gonna be out here that actually cares, that actually are concerned. I think it's big with us being here at St. Vincent, because they're not used to anyone getting them anytime a day. They just a piece of paper when they walk into a lot of these places, man. Getting pushed along and along. They not getting real help. They not getting that nourishment, from when that's why I think this big we gonna be speaking down here, man. You saw it tuned in. They were Dimitri. We gonna have to live feed or something, man. You gotta see them, man. So
absolutely.
They thirsting for that. That's what they craving that, man. They don't have that. They can't go anywhere else to get that. So I think this is huge. I know it'll be huge. So
yeah, and what you were saying as far as the what I call the intangibles, like the showing the love and actually being active listeners to what they have to say, and really being hands on with them. That's something that artificial intelligence cannot mimic. So a lot of people tend to say, okay, AI is going to take a bunch of jobs. That's very true, but that's up to us to be able to retool ourselves and be adaptable. Like there's a saying that says only the strong survive, but really and truly only the adaptable are able to survive. And that's what we are building right here at the WTF. We're building this community, adapting to the technological world, adding this human element to this world that has grown so cold, as you can see, because there's a big homelessness problem, because in my opinion, because there's a lack of love. So that's something that AI cannot reproduce. And if people would just understand that we are the real intelligence, we have the emotional intelligence, and that's one thing. There's two things that AI cannot reproduce. So tap into that human element, y'all. Hit us up in our DMs. Hit us up through our email. Text us at the number below if you want more information about our social media, our offer. Hit us up. We'll be more than happy to set up a free call with you to explain more. But this is definitely a movement that's going to change lives. It has already begun to change lives, and we ain't stopping no time soon.
No time soon. Like, man, you guys, I get tickled when we get, oh man, yeah, I'm looking forward to those folks, man, because again, I know how to be pushed through with a number. I had that inmate number. I did. I know it. I know it so well, and I didn't feel like any of them people cared for me at all. And they may have been some, but what you had mentioned, Deontay, about them feeling broken, like the thing about those that reach the greatest depths, they can attain to the highest of heights. Pleasure feels that much better to you when you felt pain on different levels. Can I get a witness to that? And these people have felt pain on levels we can't imagine.
Facts.
So just see how they adapt to this thing called pleasure. Because Deontay will tell you, everybody said they wanted joy.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody on this earth wants to win and wants to feel joy, other than a few dum-dums that we don't even talk about. But the average human, whether you're homeless or you're rich, they want to feel love, you all. That's why some of these millionaires, billionaires kill themselves, because they don't feel love. They don't feel connected. And what you were talking about, Coach Dimitri, about that AI, you know, that's the book I'm working on.
That's I plugged you right there, but you didn't even realize.
I heard you. That
yeah.
EIO. People are so focused on this AI that the true focus should be your EI. And then AI would just become a tool. It's like a wrench. It's like a jack for a vehicle. Like, it makes life easier. That's all it does. But some of these jokers can take it and create some garbage that sounds good, because, you know, AI is going to make it sound good, but it's not them. And it just lets you know that they're not authentic, that they're just out here hustling and trying to get over on people. And that's something we don't do, because, again, I'm in the kitchen serving them food. Like, what else do you need? I want to serve and pour into these people because I was these people. I still am. The only thing different is that we moved up a little bit, but we're no different than what they are, you all. Because here's why I'll ask everyone that's listening to this: how many of you could deal with being homeless? Yeah, think about that. You sitting up here complaining about your house now and complaining about it needs to be bigger, it needs to be cleaner, this, that, and other. You complaining about all this. Just imagine if everything was ripped from up under you and you had nothing, and you're at St. Vincent de Paul hoping for a free lunch or to take a shower in a bathroom. Like, just could you deal with that? Half of y'all couldn't. Think about it. Half the general population would be like, oh, hell no. I know guys right now that say, before I become homeless, I'm going to put that thing to somebody's head because I always have a home and a meal to eat in prison. These people, everybody we're servicing down there could commit a crime right now and get locked up and have food, have a home. They can have medical, books. They can have all that just by committing a crime and going to prison. But they haven't even stooped that low. They value freedom. So it's not a lost cause down there, man. And a lot of people look at them like that. You know how many drug addicts done came above that? That's the easy part. How many women who have sold their bodies have created beautiful families, helped other young ladies avoid that trap. Like, everything that they've been through, they're here for a reason. If not, they wouldn't be breathing, you all. So nobody is going without our service, period. I don't care. Give me the worst of the worst. We'll service them, we promise, because we're just going to love on them, make sure that they understand that they have support here. Because as he stated, sometimes that's all it takes, man. Is for you to love on somebody. So if you out there struggling, and I'm going to be quiet after this, anybody out there struggling, anybody feeling unloved, love on somebody. It'll come back. If you want love, start loving on somebody. There's homeless shelters. There's drug addiction. You can volunteer anywhere. Y'all know you can. So if you truly want some love, go and see how those people will beam at you, man, because it's different. It makes your skin crawl to think, what can I do to help? Especially with these young folks, man, But come on, Dimitri, you can take us out, man, as you always do, bro. But thank you, everyone, for jumping in. Share this out with your friends. We go live on YouTube, Facebook, every Wednesday at 4 p.m. It's the WTF. Again, thank you, Deontay, for joining the team. We're about to do some great things. We have more announcements coming with this event, working through the details. So it may be next week that we officially put it out there, but you're going to see a lot coming from this WTF team.
Good deal, good deal. Yeah, Deontay, if you have anything before I close, I'm opening the floor up to you, man.
Man, that's all you, man. I appreciate y'all brothers once again. And yeah, let's work.
Cool, sweet. Hey, everybody, thank you once again for another wonderful WTF Wednesday, where we always know WTF stands for what's the formula, but we also teach our mentees how to win through focus. All right, so we will see y'all next Wednesday for another wonderful WTF Wednesday. Till next time, be safe and be blessed. Peace.
Peace.